Hello everybody, today it's a quick one. I just want to briefly talk about the most common mistakes I see beginners do when they sketch and why their sketches look different from the people that are used to sketching in the style of industrial designers, right? So have a look. It's two common mistakes that I point out and ways to improve on them and the way to do it better. I hope you enjoy it. All right, let's go. Excuse-moi. Okay, so now I will be sketching an object. I'm not sure yet what I will be sketching. And I want to show you different ways or different mistakes that are commonly made by beginners or people that are not used to sketching like in the design sketching style. And I want to show you these mistakes or these different styles in order for you to be able to avoid them and also sketch with more confidence and bring your lines onto the paper with everything you got. So one of the most common things is like, I guess it comes from drawing, where if you were to draw, I don't know, a face, people tend to do like really small lines and then build the shape with these small lines, right? And maybe in like very organic, lively, high detailed textured images that works for our advantage. But if you want to do, so if this were to be the face, right, you get the idea. But if you were to do like a project, an object with like very sharp, artificial, man-made lines, then this doesn't really work anymore. And what you get is then this sort of hairy, furry option instead. So that's something we don't want to do, right? These hairy lines where we build the line bit by bit instead of like sketching one line as a whole. So then the next mistake that is commonly visible with, let's say, new students also, that they try to be really careful and accurate and they go really slow, not to mess up anything. And you would think that this should give you the perfect result, right? You also see that I have to press much harder for this style of sketching. Then I get like a variety in line weight that might not even be intentional. And what you also see, I mean, obviously I overdid it a little bit, but that the lines are not straight because I take way too much time and it's impossible for me to move my arm straight at that speed for that long duration. So my lines also end up a little bit wiggly. So you do see that there's difference. And now let's say I would do it the most common way or the right way, if you will. Then I just make one line quickly straight. It's not perfectly straight anyways, but at least it's straight enough. I start like with low pressure and build my volume bit by bit. And that way, oh, even if you can't go Control Z, right? If this were like real paper and ink, because I just sketch lightly, I can still overwork and correct the lines. And now if you compare these, then even just from the base, we haven't even started designing it, right? This is just like a base shape. We see that this looks messy. This looks all right actually. Because of the line weight, it pops out most of these. So that also gives us a hint. How can we use that line weight to our advantage? But it might be misleading. It looks like a stack of paper because it has these not straight lines, right? So this, on the other hand, looks quite alright, even though it's not perfect, right? I messed it up several times here and there. And yet, if we now add the line weight from here to here, by repeatedly going over the same line, but I mean, I repeat the line, I sketch multiple lines over another, but I don't break them in between. I always try to pick the same starting point and the same end point. And that way, the contour and the form becomes more readable and clear, because the line just gets darker and sharper. And also that way I can correct some faults that I made previously by having one more dark line that is, let's say, the actual shape that I'm looking for. Right, and then we have this inner edge here. And that's also how you get these unintentional lines that cross other lines because they go too far, because it's a dynamic process. And sometimes you don't stop exactly at the point you need to, and yet it doesn't feel like it's a big issue, because we will still continue and improve on this. So what I'm basically trying to sketch here is like a USB stick or something, I don't know. So now we have, I think, a solid base. We made the silhouette more clear, and now we can actually start ideating with this and make something with it. So that's what being bold is. It's also be confident about what you're trying to show and what you're trying to tell. Don't be afraid to share your ideas. And I go in here and enhance it even further, especially the lines on the bottom. I add the most line weight, because there would also be like an occlusion shadow. So that way they also feel more grounded right away. Then we can start shading in some surfaces, because this USB stick, right, it would go in here, have some shadow in here, and maybe a little lighter shadow at the bottom surface, even though here it would be really dark as well. So I hatch it out a little bit. Right. Then, I don't know, we have to make a decision where the light is coming from. Maybe it's coming from here. Then I can also give this side a little bit of a shading. Then we can start adding some shadow if we want to. Like really basic. And it does help to have a clear contour for your shadow, instead of like without the border. Also helps with readability. Okay, now I overdid it with the contours of the shadow itself. So I just get rid of it a little bit. And I guess what the problem is with this is that this surface now has the same hatch density as the shadow has. So I might want to add some extra hatching and extra lines in the shadow. And make the separation more clear. Oh, this one maybe. Right. So that's also another thing of being bold, like use bold lines as well, like make them actually really fat so they pop out. I mean, don't overdo it, but you get the point. And then I don't know, maybe what else do we have here? There's maybe this keychain thingy. Then you want to potentially add some section lines so you can read the shape. Here it goes in, right? So this is like rounded. So we also have some shadow on that side actually. like that, and on this side it gets a little bit darker. Then I don't know, maybe we have a brand here for the logo, and I don't know, potentially an LED that flashes. And I think quickly you do see that this line compared to this line or that line makes a huge difference. Well, that's basically already everything I wanted to share. It's like a quick one this time.